Eric
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we're back, y'all. Good morning, America. Or good early afternoon. I'm back. You know what time it is. Emo's the witness. Coming to you live. It's the Phil Show. You should know by now. Standing for what the fuck I look like. And we're here on a Wednesday, March 1st. Man, the year is speeding up, man. It's already March 1st. We're here live, episode 30. Again, you catch me downtown at 120 East Market Street. I am your host, Emo's the Witness, your referee, your guide, your new fresh voice. vibrant new dimension, give you a new political perspective. Only the way I can bring it to you. I'm going to be your guide. Downtown 120 East Market Street at Wave 1 Media. Come down here and get you a show. Hit that like, subscribe button on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Here in a few minutes, we're going to get into it. News and politics from all around the globe, all around the country. We had a very great start of the week. As you know, this past Sunday, we had former President Trump give his first major speech since the election of 2020 here at CPAC. A lot of foreign policy movements. Want to get into that. Some COVID updates, some COVID deception from your Vice President, your President Kamala Harris. I call her the President because she's lying in wait, but we'll get into that another day. But yeah, I'm glad to be back downtown with the two hardest working media moguls, soon to be Wyatt, my man Malik. So Malik, let's get into it, man. Let's drop down on this track and let's get some background music. Let's get into the news and the positive of the day. Again, I hope you guys had a great weekend. Again, I'm your host, Emotional Witness, and I'm here to be a referee for you, give you a new, fresh political perspective. You know, like I said, I started this show late last year after just being fed up with a lot of what was going on with politics and the news, the dismantling of our Constitution, our values, being trampled on, our Second Amendment, our First Amendment as well. You know, all kinds of things, the right to protest, and I'm just, you know, so I got sick of it. I said, let me go ahead and start a show. Let me encourage others as well to start their own show, their own voice, their own blogs, their own articles, to really get out there and really fish out what's really going on in this world. We had a lot going on last year, a lot going on the last 4 years. And I think as you guys know, what you guys noticed over the past couple years at least, I hope that, you know, the media and titans around the globe and around in various industries and in Hollywood have a very strong sway in media, have a very strong voice that is probably overbearing, overpowerful, more than yours, and it kind of shuts you out. You may not believe everything they say or think, and sometimes you want to have a voice of your own, or at least someone leading the charge. So I am to do that. I am your host, Emotional Witness. Again, don't kill the messenger. I'm your guide. We're gonna fish through these articles. We're gonna fish through these issues, and we're gonna fish through what people say who hold a lot of influence and sway in this country, in this world, and we're going to hold them to account. We're going to hold them to what they say. We're going to see if they're accurate or not and see what side they're on when it comes to our values and our issues and our beliefs. You know, I have a tendency to kind of veer towards the right in a lot of my viewpoints, but just, you know, a pure fact is that I'm a Trump supporter, and I have been for a while. I've been since 2016. But my values line up with his political bents, and the CPAC speech really hammered that home. I really hope some of you guys got a chance to listen to some snippets or listen to the speech as a whole, and really get down to the details of what's going on in this country and the details of what this former president stood and continues to stand for. You'd be surprised if you really took the time to really listen. It's nothing that is not what you're probably used to hearing in media. There's a lot of slants, a lot of you know, a lot of hit pieces in journalistically, a lot of investigations that came out to be fruitless. And again, during this show, we're gonna also get into the former investigations, because I said accountability is what's key to this show. And I'm glad to kind of read some recent articles and do some recent research on the current Durham investigation and where that stands, and the special counsel involved with that. And we will get into that later on in this show. But man, I had a great weekend. Spent time with my daughter. We went, what did we do? We didn't really do too much. I take that back. We went out to eat. See, anytime you do something with your kids, it's a great experience, but at the same time, it's a time saver. You're trying to find ways to kill time throughout the day. I mean, at least I am. I don't believe there's even one parent in the world that wakes up like Clark Griswold and says, "Hey, I'm gonna have a stupendous day with my kids. I don't care what. I hope I can start early. I hope I can start at 7 in the morning. I hope the day lasts forever." No one does that shit. When I wake up in the morning with my kid, definitely when I'm solo dolo right now, shit, I try to find a way to kill time. Like I take her to Chick-fil-A, I take her to the mall. Shit, by the time we get out of drive-thru, it'll be like 3:30. Shit, all this is mentally in my mental. Like, this is in the bed before she gets up. Like, shit, okay, if I just, here we go grocery shopping. That's at least 2 hours. She's in the car seat, so shit, she can't fucking jump on my neck. She can't fuck with me like that. So, you got to find ways. And I feel bad. I mean, I just, maybe I need to get, I'm in my 40s, so maybe I need to just kind of get in shape and kind of, the spring is coming. We're going to be outside, y'all. We're going to be vigilant throughout this 2021, despite COVID. I came to the conclusion when it comes to COVID, you got to live your life. You got to be vigilant. And Dr. Fauci just came out recently and said something about a double mask. I was like, oh, hell no. What the fuck? I'm going out. I'm going to the club this weekend. This motherfucker said double mask. We had double mask talk right now. So we're going to get into that. We're going to start off with that. So actually, again, this whole COVID deception. I mean, you got the deception aspect, and you got the reality aspect of it. You got I don't know what the fuck's going on. There's too much information out there. This dude came out with the double mask aspect, and then you have Kamala Harris and Joe Biden coming out saying recently that when they got to the White House, there was no vaccine plan. There was no. Let's look at the article here. Okay, I got this is a double article. I actually like this article a lot because it's doing a fact checking of the Biden administration and actually this particular topic. But at the same time, it's exposing the hypocrisy of the fact checking. Because if you notice, when Trump said something, when he was president, you had the fact checkers out and about, like right away, like Twitter, Facebook, immediately, like soon as the speech is over, the next day. But we have this February 17, 2021 article from the Nation and World Politics section. The fact-checking Harris claimed that Biden vaccine plan was starting from scratch. I mean, that's, again, like I said, we know every administration, when they come into power, they first of all put into their agenda. And in this situation, they're just wiping everything clean from what the Trump administration has accomplished over the past 4 years in a lot of sectors, definitely in immigration. And it's getting very concerning. And foreign policy. Like I said, we'll get into that. But right now, let's get into what they're doing with the COVID vaccine and the politics they're playing. Playing with your heartstrings, playing with your emotions, playing with your money. And in this article, the quote from Kamala Harris, when it starts off, because we got the fact checking that we're disputing here is this quote from President Harris on February 15th, 2 weeks ago. There was no national strategy or plan for vaccinations. We were leaving it to the states and local leaders to try and figure it out. And so, in many ways, we're starting from scratch on something that's been raging for almost an entire year, ! I mean, if anybody's been paying attention to this COVID rollout, and I know you have been because it's been in our face for the last year and a half, that's bullshit. What the fuck I look like? Hit that subscribe button. Episode 30, Emos to Witness. I'm downtown at 120 East Market Street. Like me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Website coming soon, emostowitness.com. But for now, hit that live chat. Let's get into it, y'all. I mean, come on. The fuck I look like? I've been watching this shit. Now, I told you guys, several episodes ago that I felt like the messaging and the way that this vaccine was talked about and the various guidelines, the various misconceptions and confusion being rolled out between Dr. Fauci and then the contradictions from the president, and then all the scientists and all the doctors with their input, and all the pushbacks from different countries, and the whole politics regarding the whole drug rollout, the whole vaccine and therapeutics, has been a disaster. I'm talking about the messaging, confusing the shit and scaring the shit out of Americans. But President Trump, if you really pay attention, really focus, there was a leadership plan in action, and we've seen it. From the shutting down of the airports, to the therapeutics, to the record timing, to the removal of the regulations, to the record timing of the vaccine. We have 2 vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna within a year, and then Johnson & Johnson within a year. That's, like I said, many scientists, even Dr. Fauci's boss, has said is an immense accomplishment that can only be attributed to the Trump administration. But then you have this new administration coming in town saying that they're starting from scratch. Now we're gonna dig into this article, and we're gonna go into the fact checks. And honestly, what she's saying is not totally inaccurate, but it's a massive deception. And like I told you guys in the Emos to Witness show, we're trying to get rid of the deception and the misleads. We're trying to get rid of the politicians that are not really on our side, who are playing politics for power and for greed and for corruption and to line their pockets. We're gonna push back when we're saying, okay, what are you saying? Okay, so this double talk. There's a lot of lawyers in politics. Politics is a dirty game. I yearn for the days where teachers and doctors and bus drivers and all walks of life are in that congressional hall, spouting their opinions. That's how it's supposed to be. Not a bunch of lawyers that are backed by special interests or big banks or corporate or foreign entities. That's what's going on right now. A lot of our politicians are bought and sold. Remember Fang Fang? That shit's true. Remember Dianne Feinstein? She had a fucking Chinese operative in her offices for decades. We know about Hunter Biden. We know about Joe Biden. What we don't know, what we don't know is are they going to be held accountable? Is there a two-tier justice system? Huh? We're slowly finding that out. But I'm going on tangents. I want to stick to COVID. So, Dr. Fauci goes above that. On January 21st, we got a quote from Dr. Fauci, Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, aka the COVID author, in my opinion. Let me stop there. We certainly are not starting from scratch, because there is activity going on in the distribution. That's a basic sentence, but basically he's shutting that down. But basically, we know that, though, don't we? We've been keeping track. We know that there's been, before the Trump administration, it was like the last day of the Trump administration, 1.5 million vaccines were given out. Joe Biden himself got a vaccine around December or early January. So what the fuck are they talking about? Well, they're saying it wasn't a national rollout plan for the nation. Well, let me just read the facts down here, okay? So first, let me get into the fact checkers. Many readers have access to examine these apparently conflicting statements. There was even a Fox News report wondering why we had not quickly written a fact check. We had been working on a fact check on this issue even before Harris' interview was released, regarding similar remarks by President Joe Biden. But it takes time to interview people, especially when there's a federal holiday. Whoa, really? Come on. I've witnessed Trump get shut down, fact check shut down, censored all in the same day. Talking about a big fat red flag on a quote. Damn. But here we got, for the Biden administration, we got this, it takes time to interview people, especially on a federal holiday. It takes time. Just relax. See the hypocrisy and the bias in the media? The Democratic Party runs various sectors. You have media titans that are still having agendas against the Trump administration. It's not over. You see the Southern District of New York is still taking the man's money, attacking the man's money, attacking his son. Man, he's not in office anymore. Why are they doing this? Because he has major influence in America. He owns the Republican Party. He has about 74 to 84 million people backing him, and continue to grow, because we see the bullshit in America going on right now, stuff like this. And we're looking for some authenticity. We're looking for some realness. We're looking for some strong voices, some strong leadership, something different, something independent, something that's not status quo. And some people are slowly coming around to that. I came around to that back in 2016, back in 2012, actually. But it's on you to make a bold decision. It's on for you not to follow the sheeple, not to follow the groupthink, to think for yourself. And that's what we aim to do with this show, You Must Witness. Hold truth to power. Call out bullshit when we see it. The more voices, the more merry to make this country be. The more you add your voice to the political discord, to the climate of today's society, the better we will all be. We can't have leaders deceiving us when we have so much at stake. What the hell is this? What is the common sense in a new administration coming to office and reversing everything? Are we that different? Are we that opposing on each side that we are just slowly go just take the whole slate and wipe it clean and start over? It just shows you something more important at stake for these guys. It's all about power. It's not about you. You're like a tree or shrub. You're in the way. You know? They press your political hot buttons every time there's an election. those key issues. They push you, get you all emotional, riled up. When it's all said and done, everything's all quiet again. Okay, but we're gonna keep it live. We'll keep it sparking here at the Emotional Witness Show. Hit that like, subscribe button on YouTube. You can catch me downtown every Monday, Wednesday, Friday live, 10 to 11 a.m. mostly, downtown 120 East Market Street. So I want to kind of get into a little bit more. This article here. So a large part of what they're looking at has been the definition. See, they also want to parse words. So they're looking into this fact check as a definition of plan versus starting from scratch. And the thing about it is, like, that's not the point. The point is there is a plan. We know that. But why would she come out and say something like that at this time? What does that do? I mean, what does that do for the American mental? This is more nonsense. So what do we think? Are we supposed to be inspired that, hey, we're turning the bend? Because I see articles that tell us we're reopening in some states at 75%, that there's a third vaccine, that, there's just things to be encouraged about. But then you see BS and you kind of wonder, like, man, it's like, there's a new strain? Is that what you're telling us? But then on the other hand, you're saying that, okay, wear a double mask. On the other hand, you're saying that it's all bullshit. The numbers aren't really adding up. Okay. But I do like some of the things that the Biden administration is doing when it comes to this. When it comes to the execution and distribution of this of this vaccine. Because there are some truth to what they're doing. I mean, for example, let me do this paragraph here. Where is it? Now, even Biden has credited the Trump administration for fostering the conditions for the creation of the vaccine in record time. So that's notable. Including Dr. Fauci saying that the vaccine will not be ready for at least a year if it wasn't turned out, if that turned out to be wrong, So Trump pushing regulation, pushing all these these drug companies to roll out this vaccine in record time was a tip in the cap for the Trump administration as well. Now, I also noticed that as Kamala Harris mentioned, she said, a lot of stuff was rolled out sent to the states, and that's the whole call. That's how this country works. We give power to the states. We give power to the states to make the decisions they want to make as they see fit by their people. You don't want a federal overreach. You don't want a federal claw over our country. So when it came to the vaccination, that people have a lot of doubts. So you leave it to the states to roll out the vaccination plan as they see fit. Now, one aspect of this plan was that a lot of states were hoarding the vaccine because they weren't sure how much was going to be distributed. So it was actually being allocated and being administered at like a 46% rate. What the Biden administration came in and did was ensure these states that they will get the vaccines that they need, and that distribution then increased to 75 to 80%. So now we're seeing even a higher level of people getting the vaccine. So that's encouraging to see. On top of opening up, is also great to see. But when you play politics with this game, when you pretend like there wasn't a distribution plan in place, Operation Warp Speed, which is still in place, they're using the same plans, the same rollout attack that was given to them by the Trump administration. So they get all the credit for that. They're not changing anything up. If anything, the Biden administration is responsible for not fucking it up. So just make sure you go out there and you roll this out and you keep it going. But when you play politics with it, then you just kind of see that it's like, what the fuck? As American people, what should I think? What should I do? That's where the hesitancy comes from. That makes people question how deep is this? And if it's serious, why are we playing games with it? And will we ever get over the hump or around the corner if we keep playing games with it? And this article shows two aspects. It shows that we're being responsible. We're fact-checking hella late. We're showing our media bias. I love how this article has all that all in one. But also you're showing that, there are some aspects that we need to understand. And, some states did a better job than see. The former Trump administration official involved in the effort told the fact-checker that this was not a one-size-fits-all approach, but one that allowed each state to develop a plan that worked for its population. Some states did better than others, but even so, he noted, vaccinations had reached a 7-day average of 980,000 by the time Biden took office. Okay? Virtually the goal Biden initially set for himself. So, I love this quote. As for the suggestion that there had been no vaccination plan, the official said, I understand why they're doing it. It's smart politics. But he said it is not correct, as the Biden administration embraced concepts first developed under Trump, with the exception of federally run vaccination sites such as those operated by FEMA. Okay, so the next stage from the rollout is to the pharmacies, right? And Biden has a plan to roll out to over 40,000 pharmacies the vaccination. So yeah, the key about this is that the Trump administration vaccinated for 38 days, and on 2 of those days, they hit 1 million shots. Now, you need a very different vaccination program to continue to achieve more than 1 million shots once healthcare workers and long-term care residents were covered. There was no plan to vaccinate all Americans, noting that as of February 12th, that the 7-day average was about 1.5 million, while daily doses topped 2 million. Okay, so the Trump administration was, when they did Operation Warp Speed, it was to get these shots out to healthcare workers and long-term care residents. There was another approach, another plan in place or in discussion on how to roll out to all of Americans, and that was through the pharmacies. And that's where it left off. And that's where we are right now with the Biden administration. As an example, officials pointed out to the plan to vaccinate people through pharmacies. The program had been announced by the Trump administration, but when the Biden officials asked pharmacy officials about how it would work, pharmacy execs responded that they knew little beyond what was in the initial news release. So when we first started talking to the Biden team during transition, it was clear that the federal pharmacy partnership program was going to look like. It was unclear, rather. The key details, dosage timing, etc., were missing. An executive at a top pharmacy chain told the fact checker, speaking on condition of anonymity, to avoid political ramifications. Those details were critical for us, obviously, as we needed to be prepared to activate. What we've seen over the last several weeks is a clear national plan emerge. So that's where I want to give the Biden administration credit. They are working on the national plan now to get it all out to the people, and that's through pharmacies. But it was discussions were in place before the Trump administration. And again, all the other merits and all the other aspects that the Trump administration did over the past year regarding this COVID release, this COVID pandemic, needs to be commended. What doesn't need to be commended is the double talk and the political nonsense from both sides. And I think I just personally think that's been spearheaded by the Democratic Party, and I think this was unnecessary. Let's move on because we don't have a lot of time, what we do, but I want to get into Dr. Fauci and his double masking. This next article here. Watch Dr. Fauci demonstrate the way to wear 2 masks. We're not going to watch it because it's just nonsense, but I just want to read a little bit. It just sounds like, it just makes you want to just say, man, you know what, I'm going to go outside and do what the fuck I want. Okay? I mean, even the way this article is written, but this quote here, the recommendation is not that you have to wear 2. They even expunge on the have. Like he's just like, oh, I didn't say it like this. The recommendation is not that you have to wear 2 masks, Dr. Fauci told the anchor Savannah Guthrie, another puppet. What the CDC is saying is, at a minimum, wear a mask, he said, putting on his disposable surgical mask. Then you want it to fit better. So one of the ways you could do it, if you would like to, is to put a cloth mask over your surgical mask. Dr. Fauci continued, pulling his cloth mask over the first mask. Now, this is a general quote from this article. By the way, this is from self.com. The purpose of this optional second mask is to contain potential leakage from the ill-fitting surgical mask. Dr. Fauci demonstrated, pointing to gaps in the tops, sides, and bottom of the mask. I mean, right there is when I just want to stop reading it and just kind of just throw the motherfucking computer across the room. Like I'm a fucking idiot. Like, what the fuck I look like? Like, I'm just like, we know when I put on a fucking mask that there's little gaps showing. We know that. We've seen hospitals. We've seen people in surgery. I mean, for the most part, they're fitting. They're fitting. You may adjust it your daily, you may drag it over your nose, let your nose breathe a little bit. We wear it kind of loose. It just makes you feel good to have the mask on. It's like a raincoat, right? It makes you like, okay, I got my fucking mask. Like I have permission to go into the store. It's like a mental thing. Okay, I can walk past this person and I know that his breath didn't touch my mouth, my lips. Or he's talking to me and no spit hit my lip. I mean, now you tell me to put on 2 masks. It's like, are we really going to just go through this bullshit? Are we really going to be told what to do without any kind of questioning? I mean, is this to boost the profit of all the mask makers out there? Now I got to wear 2 masks, doubling profits. Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, they competing. 1 shot, 2 shot. Come over here and get your shot. Anybody get a shot? EIO, motherfuckers, what we gonna do? Wake up. Emos to witness, hit that like, subscribe button. It's too much conflicting information. I think that is where the irresponsibility lies when it comes to the vaccine. That's one. You want to get local with it. Shit, check out Cuomo. Democrats tired of Andrew Cuomo. They about to put him down under the jail. And he should be. This guy deliberately sent nursing care elderly back to nursing homes and where additional deaths occurred because of the COVID vaccine through his ill leadership. And hopefully that investigation is going to continue to sprawl out, including his sexual harassment allegations that are increasing. When you start seeing shit like that, and you see it every day on a daily basis, that's when you know that he has no more support. Definitely wants his own party. Somebody wants him out of the Democratic Party. Somebody wants him badly. I mean, I think everybody should, from both sides, from all America. It would be a good thing, America, if your governor, Andrew Cuomo of New York, is gone from leadership. I'm trying to tell you, that guy is a bad. There's a lot of bad leaders, but he takes the cake. You know? So yeah, we get to that another episode. But yeah, Cuomo, we'll keep track of Cuomo. We'll keep track of a lot of these leaders, definitely in 2020, man. You know, Trump gave a great CPAC speech this past Sunday, and he's encouraged, he's emboldened, he's more enthused than ever. He's back. He looks refreshed. Got the same orange tan. Even better than ever. I don't know if that's just sprayed or what, man, but dude has golden hair. I ain't never seen no shit like that. You know, you don't drink or smoke. Just be talking shit, keeping it real. New York style, Governor Patton style. And people can't take that. Some people just too sensitive, man. Or you've been taught that you were sensitive. Or you've been taught to be offended. Hope that all melts away over time. If I could break down the barriers for understanding and being objective here on Emos, The Witness. Episode 30, live. Come on down, get you a show. And Malik, you ever stop being friends with somebody because they had a horrible last name?
No.
I mean, like, what if like you had a friend for like 3 years? So I don't know if that's even possible, but like you finally like knew his middle and last name or found out his last name. Would that change your behavior? Like say you got a friend named Larry, but his last name is like Larry Gross, or like I don't know, like Stanley. I don't know, Stanley Pandemic, Ron Murder.
It'd probably have to be something like a Stalin. Wait, I don't even know how to say it. Can I think
like Stalin or Hitler?
Stalin. There you go. Stalin, Hitler. I'd be like, yeah, it's getting a little dicey.
What about like Alan Harsh Rape? Like his middle name was Harsh. Like, would you be able to like, hey, what's up? Like you've been cool. Y'all went to, you probably met him on the court, the basketball court. And then, y'all probably went to go hang out a few times, like Top Golf. And all of a sudden, he's like, hey, man, we need you, like, to register for this golf tournament. You guys need to put your name down. Like, I'm Alan Harsh Rape. Like, what? And you been cool with this dude for about a good month. He came to your house for barbecue. Like, hey, honey, where's Alan? You haven't invited him back to the house lately. Would you stop talking to him? Would you still be cool with him?
I would just... If it was middle name Harsh, last name Rape, I would just be like...
I know that's strong, America, but I know these words are strong. I know that, okay, maybe I can pick something different. I mean, people probably turn me off, the 7 viewers. Like you said, like Ron Hitler. Yeah, would you be able to roll with that? Mr. Hitler, your table's ready, and you're with that group. You go walk through Ocean Prime slowly with your crew.
I don't know, man. Harsh Rape is kind of, I don't know. That's like his parents. I don't know.
How do you get that name? Like,
Yeah,
well, his
like you got to sign up for that. Like you got to go out your way to
well,
change.
shit, it can happen. His great uncle in the Civil War was William Harsh. Because sometimes these names change over immigration. You know, when you travel over the pond, when you immigrate, migrate over here, you change your name a little bit to hide your past. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they could have been like the Rapey. Last name was like Rapey, and it's like his uncle was like William Harsh Rapey, the first Lieutenant General of France. You know, some shit, or Connecticut, and they just kind of molded and changed over time when they came to the States.
You know how like Native Americans would be like, "Oh, I'm John Blackhawk."
Yeah, exactly. There it is. Do you see what I'm saying? That's fucked up. They change. I don't know how that happens. They had to change their name like all the way, like John Black. Yeah, as I'm saying, John Blackhawk. But no, that is how it really goes. Like I think if you like, that's what I'm saying. If you look at some of these last names, some of these great family dynasties, man. Like over time, like they had a different name in Europe. Their family did before they came over here. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, so yeah, that's like your friend that you just meet. Maybe that's not his name now. Maybe it is William Harsh Rapey, but maybe they were like the Harsh Rapes, like in like France or like wherever they were. Man, I probably should quit fucking saying that word, huh? I probably said like 12 times. I probably done broke all kind of like FCC laws or whatever. But anyway, let's move on. I don't even know how I got there. Shit, that's crazy. That's like a Twilight. That's like a tunnel zone. That was like a black hole event. I totally jumped around to something totally different. I'm sorry, America. Emo's the witness. We're back up in this bitch. Cussing a little bit here on a wacky Monday. So yeah, I wanted to kind of get into that. Like I said, Dr. Fauci, man, like double mask shit really pissed me off. So then I found this article from the Bronx Chronicle. And I just like how it kind of points to the hypocrisy. This is the next article, Malik. It's just, I want to kind of get into the second and third paragraph here kind of exposes some of the hypocrisy of Dr. Fauci and how it kind of bounced back on Trump during the administration. So here's one sometime in February, there was a discussion about the importance of a mask wear and just wear them or not. You can find the video clips of Dr. Fauci saying there's no mask, and you can. There's been a lot of flip-flop over the past year. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. But of course, when the medical experts say that, the leadership is going to repeat that. The execution team, whether it's from Vice President Pence or from Trump at a press conference, and then the media jumps on that. And that's what happened initially. There was no travel ban. Now there's a travel ban. They said, he says, okay, it's safe to fly on airplanes. It wasn't safe to fly on airplanes. And Trump made the decision to do a travel ban on that. But they also kind of pointed that there was a delay on that. And there was hypocrisy going on, and there's contradictions within the team as a result, and the media carries that line on when that's not what's important. What's important is getting the correct message out, and let's not scare the American people, and let's get this country open. In every bits and places, every little area, certain areas of this country, you see politics being played. And politics were being played from the very beginning of this pandemic. And these are the examples. And we have to go back on this show and show you guys that. Through such age of confusion, we have to point out and bring out the past. And like I said, there's been some encouraging things I've been reading over the weekend that lets me know that the American people have not given up on fighting for what's important. And that's regarding the Durham investigation that's ongoing and continuing. So let's go on. I'm going to get into a little bit of foreign policy, and that's going to lead into some of the CPAC speech from Trump. Of course, you guys know last week that Biden did airstrikes against Syria, attacking Iran. Now it's very confusing, right? Because like I told you, every administration wants to come out wants to start their administration with some kind of foreign policy boost, showing their strength, showing where they're, what they can or can't do with their power, what they intend to do when it comes to a foreign policy agenda. Like I said, the reason why I voted for Trump again was for his policies. And one policy he had in particular was America First. One policy was to end endless wars, to stop trying to be the world police, And so we made a lot of deals, a lot of peace deals over the past 4 years. I mentioned we had struck a deal with the Taliban. We peace in Israel, or at least negotiations with some countries that recognize Israel as a state. I mean, you got Bahrain, the peace accords. I forgot what they're called. So, he's called something, he's presiding over the Middle East peace plan. Withdrawing troops from Afghanistan. First president stepped foot on North Korea. Peace between North Korea and South Korea currently, or at least working on it. We haven't seen a rocket launch or we haven't heard shit from North Korea in 4 years. President Trump has been recommended for nomination of Nobel Peace Prizes. Some of the things that he's done in Europe as well. I'm not getting to all that, but basically he's had a dove approach. He's had a peaceful approach when it comes to foreign policy, and you would think differently when he was coming to power, right? You would think differently if you've heard from the mainstream media. They would tell you this man was ready to start any kind of war, that he wasn't listening to a general, that he was a dictator. How can you be a dictator when you're out here trying to strike peace deals, trade deals, fair but equal deals, reciprocal trade? That doesn't sound like a dictator to me. A dictator comes through and crush the bill like dog pound. You come through New York crushing buildings. Tell them motherfuckers what you're gonna do, right? But in the Biden administration, what do we see? We see the strike on Iran, but yet we see you guys roll back sanctions, and you're willing to join back the JCPOA. Rejoin the nuclear agreement with Europe, so we were totally against giving piles of money. So what are you really doing? Are you showing? You're telling us that you're warning Iran to back off or to stand clear? But like I said, I see an approach from the Biden administration that's hawkish when it comes to foreign policy. Like I told you, he stopped a lot of the peace deals, the trade deals, military removal of troops from Afghanistan's under review, right? And this is the same administration that caused a failed state in Libya, right? That's still a failed state. Open slavery in Libya right now. Craziness going on in that country. And the same hawks, same military people are back in power, right? They're there again. So what are we gonna do? When you see stuff like that. So on Thursday, U.S. on Thursday launched an airstrike in Syria to target facilities used by Iran-backed militia groups, the first military action taken by the Biden administration. The Pentagon said the strike was in retaliation for a February 15th rocket attack against a U.S. military base at the Erbil International Airport in northern Iraq that killed a U.S. coalition contractor and left others wounded, including an American service member. Okay. Yeah, but that's our same political. Well, not political, but that's how we normally do things. If American soldier gets killed or attacked in operation overseas, we just kind of definitely retaliate, and we should. But why are we there? Huh? Can we kind of clear that up? Why are we there? It's to protect. It's to protect the suffering people of Syria. It's to avoid those red lines pro Obama. But what's so strange, and like I said, this attack from all our foreign policy is that what's strange is that later on you find out, it's about oil. It's about natural resources. Because there's suffering allegedly in all these countries all around the world that we need to kind of look into, right? Slavery in Libya. Shit. Slavery in Qatar. Indonesia. What's the difference? This is monopoly. It's monopoly. But yeah, like I said, I really fear on a foreign policy level that we're a little something to be concerned about. And there's another article that I wanted to kind of bring up too is from Frank Gristra and Andrew Bakovich from Business Insider. Biden is on the verge of making the same dangerous mistakes as the presidents before him. And this article goes on to talk about the issues with China, issue with the South China Sea, what's going on in Iran. And actually what's interesting is that this article is saying that this might be a good time to have a peaceful approach, right? To basically continue what Trump is trying to do, not to really go hawkish. See, now, if the escalation tensions between the United States and China aren't causing you to be concerned yet, you've not been paying attention. Any conflict between the two superpowers will result in unimaginable devastation, if not physical, at least economic. And don't forget, both China and the United States possess nuclear arsenals. There's not a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on right now in our COVID-besieged world, but war remains an omnipresent danger. Antagonism between the United States and China is only one source of concern. The broken relationship between the U.S. and Iran is another. So, like I said, the Trump administration's foreign policy was peace through strength, right? And it's largely has worked. It's definitely worked. We had peace for 4 years, and now what you're seeing is now a potential reversal of that policy, where we're giving into Iran, we're giving into China. This article points out that we should take a peaceful approach, which we've already been doing, but we've been doing it through strength. But now this is almost considered where they're recommending a peaceful approach while giving away this country, which was where we were headed toward before Trump became president. Now, argue that the powers that are currently in office, actually what they're doing actually is giving away this country, selling this country away from under us while starting war or looking for a war, looking for a fight. Now, I don't know if that's some kind of policy plan to keep America in power, because, war does spur economic activity. There's definitely economic boost. It's a job creator. And there's also a lot of spoils to the victor. But we don't need that in America anymore. We're done with that, with this war, the massive killing, these threats. But not this current administration, not this current foreign policy, as a way that the trade headwinds are going. So it's something to be very mindful for. I want to show you a quick little video clip at the very 40-second mark. They talk about the tension between China and the United States, and where we are currently in the South China Sea. And it's something that to be very concerned about. Let's listen to this real quick.
Point now where confrontation is more likely.
Recent tensions have threatened to boil over.
It used to be in the old days that the Americans were clearly the superpower. They could sail where they wanted and nobody else could do anything about it. Whereas now I think the Chinese are starting to think that maybe they have the military power, the weapons that could actually threaten the Americans.
As Joe Biden comes into office, this is an issue that's not going to get any easier to solve, because China sees it as part of its very core strategic interest to control that territory. That's not going to change whoever is in the White House.
We're at a kind of dangerous phase at the moment, and looks set to continue.
So how did an East Asian dispute over a group of small islands become a significant flashpoint for US-China relations?
So we got to keep that in mind. We got to watch it. The Chinese are getting more emboldened. The military has increased in numbers and capabilities. And this world is getting smaller. So are we going to cooperate with one another, or are we going to just say this area is mine for various resources, for various defensive means, and we're going to just keep doing tit for tat until it goes into a big war? So I think that, just keep that in mind. I mean, the focus where, sometimes we're focused on so many different issues that you don't know what's going on in the foreign policy aspect, where we are. We know where we are and where the hotspots are. So hopefully cooler heads will prevail in the South China Sea. But if they don't, you want to be at a position of strength. You don't want to be in a position of kowtowing to your enemy. It's a chess match, and who's winning? Like I argue, man, like so far China, man, they're the trade war champs. When you look at how they hit us with this COVID, but we're bouncing back. And what's encouraging is Trump returning, like I told you yesterday, with the CPAC speech. A few key highlights that I did note: that he is not interested in starting a second party. He owns the Republican Party, and he knows that they're unified more than ever, and they're going to come back strong in 2024 and 2022. He said that emphatically, and it was great to hear, because it kind of, like I said, it kind of goes against my assertion that I thought, and it really felt that way, is that the Republican Party was splintered, not unified, and the Democrats are more unified than ever. I found it to be the exact opposite. And that's also been encouraging to see Mitt Romney and, Mitt Romney begrudgingly acknowledged that Trump is the leader of the GOP and he has a strong hold on the party. And Mitch McConnell came out this past Friday and said that, hey, Trump, no doubt, if he is the nominee, I will support him. And they know they have no choice because the American people are Trumpers, and 74 million, and you know they're gonna show their ass on the 22nd. I mean, in 2022 in midterms, and you know you're gonna see, hopefully, in my opinion, Trump become your president again in 2024. And let's look at this little excerpt from the CPAC speech. This portion here is kind of pointing to some of the dangers. A lot of things, you know, one of the key highlights that he mentioned was that he's not looking at starting a second party. Another key highlight is that he really expounds heavy on immigration and the reversals of the immigration policies that Biden has put forth thus far, and the indoctrination of this democratic thinking in our military ranks. And we already know how it's doing in the collegiate realms in various liberal colleges, and we've seen that with a professor in Columbia snorting heroin and coke as we speak. Probably had a 9 o'clock class just now, just finished it up, coked out. But anyway, let's look at this excerpt of 2940, what Trump's been saying, what's been happening since he's been out of office.
He signed an order to conduct politically correct far-left indoctrination trainings in every department of the federal government, including the U.S. military, after I had terminated these horrible things that were being preached to our military. And he wants it to go forward. It's insane. Within his first few hours, Biden eliminated our national security travel bans on nations plagued by terrorism. His first priority was to open our borders to unvetted travelers from Libya, Yemen, Syria, Somalia, and many other countries where strict vetting cannot occur. Countries that have tremendous problems, countries with tremendous terrorism problems.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Sorry, I was reading the text. But anyway, yeah, I'm just trying to tell you, we have to be alert. We have to stay focused on what's going on, the changes in these agendas from these new administrations, these new leaders. And then, like I said, they're not new leaders, are they? They've been here before. They're backed by very powerful entities, and they're just gonna keep trying to push their agenda through. Get a little background music, Malik, help me out a little bit. But basically, like I said, that's all us here at the Must Win is to stay focused and stay on these issues and these topics. Hit that like and subscribe button. You can catch me downtown every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. Wave 1 Media, 120 East Market Street. Please like me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Again, we're here to hold our politicians and our leaders accountable from all industries, from Hollywood, from big tech and their citizenship dealings, to big industries and big wigs and notable influencers in this world that want to give us their opinion and put their stamp on this world that affects us. We want to have a clear understanding of what's going on. We want to be able to be strong in our thoughts and our actions when we go vote. So let me be your referee. Let me be your guide. Let me lead you. We'll get better. We'll get stronger as the show progresses. We'll have interviews and then go in-depth analysis on everything going on. Gotta stay on top of this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Become witnesses with me. Come and be a witness to what's going on in your life. 2021. It's already March 1st. And we gotta stay vigilant because things are changing before our eyes. And like I said, when you see contradictions in the politics, and I'm about to end it strong because, like I told you, like I'm proud of the American people. We have ways. We're staying vigilant, and we don't give up. And we hold our freedoms and our protections and our traditions and our civil rights and our Constitution dear, and we hold it close. And one thing that I'm looking at, watching, and observing dearly is if there's a two-tier justice system. You know, if it truly is a have and have-nots, and the people up top can get away with whatever they want to. But what's great to keep close is this article that I continue to come back to is this from Benjamin Witt's very well written article from the Lawfare. How do you solve a problem like John Durham? Well, according to this article, you can't. This article is pretty much written written December 4th, 2020, before the start of the new year. And it confirms, and what I've been saying is that Special Counsel John Durham is still investigating various aspects of the past 2016 Russian investigation. And he's exploring everything that led up to that, and also the investigation itself, with no restrictions. So let's get into the details of that. I mean, in particular, to kind of confirm that. Now, because what's so telling, what's so great about this article is that it shows you the cleverness of William Barr. You know, a lot of times, you know, the Attorney General Barr is to be objective, right? The Attorney General is not to be some kind of wingman, like Obama's Attorney General Holder, former Attorney General Holder, even confirmed that. But you know, a lot of times I used to get frustrated because William Barr would come out and kind of not be objective. Well, be objective. He'd be very classy, very objective, very intellectual with his responses. It would almost seem like a contradiction to what Trump was saying, or a more measured approach, or a more measured response, and it would sometimes sound hypocritical or contradictory to what Trump was saying. But he was just doing his job and doing it well. Very well versed, very experienced, and it was great to watch him in Senate hearings when he would go up there and be very smart, and very intellectual, very savvy, and just make politicians look dumb, particularly Democrats, you know, like Kamala Harris in those hearings about various aspects of the Constitution and what his job was regarding investigations. And he did a very good job at that time, but I think there were some times where he let the president down personally. And there's of course there was some, but I don't consider him a turncoat. I don't consider him a never Trumper or some kind of established Republican like Mitt Romney or nothing like that. But I think that he was someone who did his job and did it very well. And he put some protections in place, some parameters in place regarding how to get the special investigation off and going with John Durham. And it seems like he did a very good job. Reading this article here is that let me see. I want to get right to where I was reading. Okay. Now, the Durham investigation, which focused on the origins and conduct of the Russian investigation, began not as a criminal investigation but as an administrative review ordered by Barr of the Russian probe. As such, it has reportedly looked at everything from the integrity of the intelligence community assessment of the Russian interference in the 2016 election to the handling of the Carter Page Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act FISA application. At some point, however, the Durham probe became, at least in part, a criminal one. And it has prosecuted one person so far, which is FBI Kevin Kleinsmith, who actually falsified an email. He actually changed wording in the email to kind of show that Carter Page was a spy. You believe that? That's dangerous. And they presented it to the FISA court as fact. That's illegal, ladies and gentlemen. You can't do that. And it was headed by some State Department officials, some Obama administration officials who signed off, and FBI officials who signed off. Those people need to be held accountable still to this day, and nothing you've seen thus far has shown a true accountability. These cats are parading on mainstream media, MSNBC TV shows every day, talking this nonsense, and you guys are eating it all up, brainwashing you. But there's an investigation going on. Hopefully, we're going to see if it's going to be held accountable. There's going to be accountability. And that's what we want on this show. But I'm going to keep going though, because what it's showing is that there's been measures in place by Barr for that this investigation to continue. That's why it's a special counsel investigation. There can be no interference. So there's not much Biden can do to stop this in the next 4 years. It's gonna be a result, and there's gonna be a response from this. Now, beyond that one case, however, the Kleinsmith case, however, it's never been clear what exactly the Durham investigation is looking at. Many of the key figures in the Russian probe have never been contacted, and the exhaustive Inspector General report on the Crossfire Hurricane probe does not give rise, beyond the Kleinsmith case, to implications of criminal conduct. Durham has, in other words, spent 18 months rooting around in an unspecified combination of criminal and non-criminal matters, second-guessing intelligence and law enforcement conduct, following up criminal referrals from the Inspector General, running down Barr's suspicions about how the Russian investigation really began, and exciting expectations on the right that the Russian scandal is about to finally be unveiled as a hoax. And it was a hoax. It was. Right? The dossier saying Trump was a spy. Your president of the United States is actually a Russian spy. Come on. Like, this has been the most vetted person we've seen in 30 years. His whole 4 years in office was an investigation, was a vetting process. Why? Because he goes against what the status quo wants. But he goes with what the American people need and want. And American people see that, and they support him more and more every day. It's not just me. Anyway, now, the first real oddity of this move is that it was quite explicitly designed to burden a potential Biden administration with a special counsel. As Barr specifically described it, in fact, as intended to provide Durham and his team with the assurance that they could complete their work without regard to the outcome of the election. Note that since the incumbent president is enthusiastic about the Durham investigation, the only conceivable threat that Barr could be protecting against here is the threat of Biden winning and Barr being replaced by someone inclined to curtail Durham's probe. So in other words, without regard to the outcome of the election, many as well read, even if Biden becomes president, I am no longer your attorney general. Now listen, that's the author's way of putting his bent and his slant, which, his entitled opinion on this matter. That Barr is trying to protect his job or trying to protect this investigation from being squashed. That's his job as Attorney General. Make sure these investigations go clear without any kind of obstruction, any kind of political agenda or bent from the motherfucking defendant. I mean, it's unbelievable that that you can sit there and watch a video of your current president tell you how he squashed a Ukrainian investigation on behalf of his son. And then we elect this motherfucking president a year later? Like, come on. Where's our common sense? What the fuck I look like? Phil Show, hit that like, subscribe button. Emotional witness. These matters have to be questioned. Maybe I'm wrong. But that shit doesn't fly to me. And when I'm making my daughter special cheesy hamburger helper mac and I hear that shit on fucking MEC from some stupid some talking head, Savannah Guthrie, very plain, very off the surface, no details, very one-sided, very slanted. What the fuck I look like? I want to throw my TV. Just give me my news straight. And we're gonna keep watching this investigation as it continues, because, like I said, it's attacking a lot of aspects of the past, and we need to hold people accountable, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care what side of the aisle it is. It's not for my dog to win the fight. Like I told you, it's about the Constitution protecting our values. Two-tier justice system. If you can do shit like this to a president, they can do it to you. It's called precedence. Precedent? I'm not saying president. But that's what I'm referring to, ladies and gentlemen. We got to make sure that these laws are fair and balanced, and they're not. We got a lot of repairing to do in this country. And I'll tell you one thing. Before I go, if over time it turns out that this shit's not working, and there's just issues going on where there's just rampant corruption, there's no swamp cleaning, there's no accountability, and American people their voices aren't being heard. Which maybe we do need to look at a new system, right? Maybe capital greed is just not the way it's supposed to be. But I know that socialism is not where it's going to be. That's not the way it goes. That's not the way it should be. But I know we built a very good constitution, and it needs to be tweaked. Doesn't need to be overhauled. Does not need to be just washed away and a recreation, as some Yale students want to do. And we get into that too. Some Yale students want to actually do that. Just kind of swipe everything clean. I'm telling you, man, the ideals in this world are swearing their heads towards a manner that we do not want to see. History repeats itself. There's nothing new under the sun. So let's just be mindful of how we think as a group, and make sure that all values are respected, all issues, all values, all opinions are respected, and everybody's voice is heard. So like that, hit that like, subscribe button. I'll be back to holler at y'all on Wednesday. Emotional witness, like I said, coming to you live. Downtown 120 East Market Street every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at Wave One Media. Hit that like, subscribe button. Catch me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify. So yeah, a lot going on. You guys keep stay vigilant, stay ready. Get that shot, don't get that shot, but live your life. And I'll see y'all on Wednesday, Emotional Witness. And I'm out.